Hey guys, my name is Amy, and I'm here to talk about some of my favorite projects that we worked on over the semester in digital design. I'm going to go ahead and start out with Illustrator because I think this was probably my most favorite program to work on because it came easiest to me. I really enjoy working on drawings in my free time, so this was really fun to do. One of my favorites to work on was the Yin Yang project, and I really liked this because the tutorial seemed pretty simple to follow, and I liked learning how to just change regular shapes into something a little bit more intricate and creating a pretty cool art piece as the result. And I noticed a couple of other people really enjoyed this project as well. As I was reading in the discussion board in the module. So Overall, this was a really enjoyable project to work on. And then going into my next favorite in Illustrator was it was an Adobe tutorial, and it was called Drawing Shapes. And again, this was another tutorial where it kind of focused on manipulating just regular shapes into something a little bit more unique, I guess. And then, for example, they showed you how to like take a basic square and make it curved on the corners, and then taking all of these pieces and putting it together and making it an art piece. And I thought that was awesome, and I really liked recreating this robot example. And so that concludes my favorites for Illustrator. So going into Photoshop, I think that my favorite project to work on was the one where we merged two images into one, and I decided to choose a couple of images off of Google, and I used this one of a dock that I found, and then I also took this one of what looks like it's about to be a thunderstorm over a field, and I just kind of manipulated the two images together, and I changed the hue and saturation of the whole image a little bit to make it a little more purple and overcast and overall surreal looking, my bad. And I thought it turned out pretty cool. I really enjoyed working on this project. And the thing I think I struggled with the most was probably blending the water in with the field. It kind of looks a little bit silly right there, but I think if I had a little bit more time to work on this project, I would definitely try to make I guess the bay or the riverside or lakeside look a little bit more natural, and just spend a little bit more time on it. And overall, it was an awesome project, and I got to learn a little bit more about photo manipulation. And then the other project that I really liked working on in Photoshop was the one where we edited the pier. And this was one of my favorites because it was really intricate. We got to do a lot of different effects and add a few more images to manipulate in with the final design of the project. And I had a lot of fun with it. I loved learning about all these new um, design tools that I had never worked with previously, and it was just awesome, and I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, and then I think the thing I struggled the most with in this project was the fact that I tried to make it a lot like the original, and then I kind of thought, it's like Photoshop is kind of an art in itself, not no two pieces can be the same, so it's like I kind of try to not focus on that too much. But yeah, I think my design turned out pretty well. So I was pretty proud of this, and I enjoyed working on it. And then probably my most favorite project to work on out of all of them, the final favorite, I guess, was the InDesign project, and it was actually our final magazine project. So this was what my magazine turned out looking like. And oh, sorry, cat. Ah, he dropped my mouse. And so I really liked this one because I got to design my own magazine according to my own interests. And if I could have spent a little bit more time on it, I would have um, added a little more to the cover. I feel like it's a little bit simple, but and that's what I struggled with the most was coming up with a good cover for it. But I enjoyed this project a lot, and I feel like my pages turned out pretty cool, and the layout looks pretty good. And then another thing I struggled with a little bit was adding interactivity. At first, I couldn't really figure out how to make it work on the PDF and a couple other things, so I kept having to look it up and follow YouTube tutorials, but eventually I got it and it has interactivity on it. So that was really fun, and I had a lot of fun doing this project, so I think it turned out pretty good. And I like the interactivity on the subscription page where you can just hover your mouse over it and yeah, that's how my magazine turned out. But overall, I learned a lot from that project, and my overall takeaway from this class, I really enjoyed refreshing my memory of digital design overall. I played with it a little bit before this class, but not that much, and it had been a couple years, so it was a lot of fun learning some new tips and tricks on how to edit photos and draw new things and stuff like that. And I think it would help me in the future if I had a job kind of pertaining to that. Like even if I worked in like an office setting, maybe my company needs a new logo, maybe they need business cards or a newsletter, and I think this class would really help me with that. So I had a lot of fun in this class and enjoyed it, and I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as I did. So yeah, thank you for listening.